Welcome all to hopefully the last guide you will need on how to run a Nitrado server. In this guide, we're going to be covering everything from naming your server, to finding your server, logging in, changing the rates, fine-tuning babies, the baby settings, you name it. We're going to try to cover everything on this. So, if this video helped you out, smash that like button. It helps other people see that this video is answering questions. Throw a comment down there in the comment section below, and we'll get started. So, when you first get your server, you will be introduced to the Nitrado dashboard. Should look something like this. On the left side, we're going to go over to General. In General, we will find what our server mode is. If this is before the console release and you're watching this, right now we only have access to PC. If this is after the console release, we should be able to have cross-platform. We'll go ahead and select those options then. Scroll down to the base setting. We'll have server name. Go ahead and change it to what you want. Mine's Dark Echelon. Password and admin password. Leave it blank if you don't want a password. And then message of the day. Mine says, welcome to Home Chalks Gaming. Obviously, that's my YouTube channel. And we have considered opening this up to members and subscribers of the channel. So if you guys are interested in playing along with us as we go through, all the maps of the game as they are released, join the Discord, comment, below, say that you're interested in joining. So now that we've done that, now we need to go to find our server. So this is a question that people have had. So in Ark, go ahead and press spacebar to start and join. We want to make sure we've clicked unofficial, and down here below, if it is password protected, you gotta have this box checked. Also, I have PC only online multiplayer checked. And then up in the search bar, just type in the name of your server, and there's my server. So that's how you find your server. Quick and easy. Now, before you actually connect to your server, you may want to change some things. First thing that we're going to cover is what I refer to as game INI or user settings. And what that means is in the configuration on the side, the configure files, you'll have game and you'll have game user settings. Just note that whenever I refer to game INI, that's the game, and user settings is the game user settings INI. Everything in the game user settings INI is going to go under the very top server settings. And if you guys just want to copy and paste a game INI, that will be in the description as well. Starting off, we are going to look at changing the game difficulty and the dinos. So we want to have the game to be a little bit harder, which gives us a higher scale of dinos. And so with those, we are going to use the command difficulty offset equals 1. That's going to match live servers. That's going to go in user settings. And then we're going to use override official difficulty equals 5. That's going to get us, both those are going to get us up to level 150 dinos. Both those commands go into the game user settings. Now, some people have complained that there isn't enough dinos running around. We can fix that. I recommend leaving this setting at a 1 or a 2. Do remember, if you have it set to 2, you'll get twice the amount of dinos, or twice the amount of gigas, so you'll have 2 gigas. And that command is going to be dino count multiplier equals value. We're going to use number 2, and that's going to go in user settings. Once we have those 3 things that we've added, we want our server to do a restart. Before we do a restart, we're going to put in the user settings, force respawn dinos. That should wipe all the dinos and force them to respawn. If you're not satisfied with the outcome, you can also use an in-game admin command. I do have a video where explaining that. It's going to be in a card right now. Should be up at the top of the screen. Go ahead and click that, come back here, and we can continue. If you want to do PvE or PvP, that's going to be found in the dashboard. Go ahead and, or that's going to be found in the Nitrado dashboard. I just go ahead and type in the search and type in PvE, and here we go. We will go ahead and click that if we want to enable PvE. Now, if you want to disable friendly fire, we are going to use this command, PvE disable friendly fire equals true or false, depending. If you don't want to have it, you don't even need to put it in there. If you want to disable friendly fire, put true. There is ways that we can add in custom dinos into the game that are not part of mods. So what I mean by custom dinos is any dino that's not native to the island. So wyverns, maywings, stuff like that. The community has added mods, but you can also add it in. If you guys are interested in that, let me know in the comment section below. It's a little bit lengthy. We also have to figure out what spawn areas that we want to use. You can use programs like Beacon, or you can try to find the information on the wiki, the Wikipedia, and it should help you with that. A couple of things to look at. Some people have asked, how do we change the stats of the player, primarily affecting the drain of the weight, or the drain of the food and the water consumption. They don't want to eat as much. Same thing with the dinos. So we'll use player character food drain multiplier equals the lower the setting, the less you eat, the higher the setting, the more you eat. And if you're looking to mess around with stamina and whatnot, you can do that here as well. Lastly, allow flyer carry PvE equals true. I use that so when I'm running around and playing, I can just go pick up native dinos that aren't tamed, throw them in a pen, tame them up. You don't have to have that. You can if you want to. For the next step, this is all we're going to be talking about. Experience, taming, breeding, the heart of everything that people want to know. It's very important to know, is your server using single player settings or not? You'll notice if you ever watched Raz Clark or Syntac in the early episodes, they're getting these amazing drops, like the drops when they go in there and they get a bunch of ascended items, and you know, they're just getting amazing gear. That's because accidentally the game I that was released had it as single player. So if they just found one or copied it, or they used it from single player settings, there it is, single player. So we want to disable single player settings, or you can keep it on. But the code is use single player settings equals true or false. It all depends on what you're looking for. By default, that will be in your game user settings already. Now we're going to go to the XP rate. Why this is important is the XP pool that you have to level up in multiplayer is different than in single player. Single player takes a lot less experience to level up. Multiplayer does not. So if we want to increase our XP rates, we just use XP multiplier equals and your number, whatever you want. I have it set to 2, but I also had single player mode enabled without knowing. Harvest rate multiplier and harvest health multiplier. So harvest rate is how much that you get per item swing, and a health multiplier is how much you get from the node, so how long that node stays alive for. I change the harvest amount multiplier, but I do not change the harvest health multiplier. So harvest amount, you can change that. That increases how much items you get per node. Do you know if you increase this way high, then you'll get a bunch of metal that's dropping. Maybe that's what you want. You get a bunch of metal dropping from like wooden, like stone picks and stuff like that. Taming speed multiplier is just that. How fast do we want to tame our dinos? Again, up to you. I have it set to 50 because I don't want to be waiting around all day. If you have a big server, probably drop it down. Do note that some of these stats may interfere with other stats. One thing that people have also asked about is how do you re-enable the player speed, where you can run faster, you can level it up, and the dyno speed. You're going to put this in game user settings, which is lowercase b, allow speed leveling equals true or false, whichever one you want. Right now I believe it by default is on false. Switch that to true, and you'll get the leveling again, where you're able to level your speed up. Also, day and night cycle you can adjust with daytime speed scale and nighttime speed scale. So you want to, if you want less nighttime, do a smaller value there. They're by default, I believe, at 1. So now we'll get into the one of the most popular things outside of XP, which is babies. And babies, there's a lot to cover. So I do have a video. Some of the information may be outdated at this time, but that should be in a card. If not, if it is outdated, we'll try to cover it as best we can. Do remember, again, I can't stress enough, that single player settings really do affect this. We're talking, the mature speed you can have on single player settings, 5 is equal to close to 50 on live settings. So it's very important you know which one that you're dealing with. So for breeding, egg hatch speed multiplier, that's what we're going to do to make the babies hatch quicker. For imprinting, the real question is how often do you want to imprint? Do you want to imprint just one time and you want to have everything at 100%, or do you want to actually watch the baby and do that? So it really depends. So if you want to watch the baby and imprint like I'm doing here, then you're going to use the BabyCuddleIntervalMultiplier, and I have mine at pretty low. This number is roughly about every 10 minutes that you're going to have to take care of the baby. Depending on how fast your growth speed is, that could be a ton or not at all. Baby mature speed multiplier, that's how fast that baby is going to grow. By default, the game has it set for 40 in single player. That's why you see a baby grow up in like 2 minutes. So when you have a baby growing up in 2 minutes, it's going to be quite hard to imprint. So you're going to have to adjust your imprint settings to bring them down lower. Imprint multiplier is how much you're going to imprint. So you can move this from 2% to 100%. So if you want 100%, put BabyImprintAmountMultiplier, put it to 1,000. Guaranteed, if you have an imprint window that you're able to imprint and you have the item, it will 100% imprint it, and you won't have to worry about it again. BabyImprintStatScaleMultiplier, that's just how much of these stats is this baby going to imprint, benefit from your imprinting. So you can put it again at 1,000 and you'll have a super ultra mega dino that's going to one-shot everything and never die. Or you can leave it at default 1 and it'll be as the game is intended, or you can just adjust it around. And then the BabyCuddleGracePeriodMultiplier, you can leave that at 1 too. That's just, again, that goes in hand with your imprinting. Another stat that people are going to want is going to be mating interval multiplier. The lower the number, the faster the babies are going to be. They're going to be made. And also, going along that, mating speed multiplier, how fast they mate. So do you want them just to get it done quick and then babies hatch? Well, this is where we're going to adjust that. So lower speed for the interval multiplier for mating, and higher number for how fast you want them to mate. And then lastly, if you're going to be a part of a big tribe and your settings are going to be more so what's going to be closer to live, you may want to turn on anyone can imprint. So allow any one baby imprinting cuddle. That's going to go in user settings. All the rest of these, so your hatch, your breeding, imprinting, mature, stat scale, all of that, all the rest of these are going to go into your game INI. The allow anyone to breed or allow anyone to imprint, that's going to go into game user setting. And lastly, the thing that we're going to cover is adding mods to the server. So that's going to actually be from your Nitrado dashboard. On the left, it's super Super easy to do. You'll see CurseForge mods here. Just click that. You're going to automatically be greeted with a list of mods that you can add. I mean, everything from custom dino, spyglass, you name it, it's here. Do note there has been some issues with this in the past where the creator of the mod has updated it to match the client, but your server was not updated. So what was happening was your members of your server were trying to join your game. It was telling them that that there was an update available for the mod, which was true. They would update it, and then the mod wasn't matching the mod on the server side. So hopefully they have fixed that. If not, you'll need to make sure you stay on top of the installed mods on your server and make sure that they stay updated. But hopefully they have fixed that. Again, this is a quick and large list of the most common things that people are going to need to get their server up and running, whether it's from Xbox, PlayStation, or on Steam. So we covered XP, harvest, taming, raising, the full, I'm hoping everything that you guys are needing to know. There is a way that you can adjust the stats of the dino, and I will list that code into the description at the bottom. What this will do is, let's say you want to individually raise the weight of a dino. After you tame it, you want it to, for some strange reason, instead of getting its default points, you want to have 10 points per level. This is how you're going to do it. It's quite a lengthy code. You can also do the same thing for individual players. Do note what happens for you, it's going to happen for everyone else on your server. So if this is a PvP server, maybe shy against it, unless you guys want to see people just nuking everybody. But I appreciate the watch time. If you guys have made it this far, I appreciate you guys. Again, smash that like button. Post any questions in the comments below. I do have a Discord server that I help people, join my Discord, ask questions there. And I've even jumped in people's servers and helped them. So feel free to ask questions. I want to thank everybody for the support you guys have been giving me recently. I mean, this is fantastic. I am, as of right now, 26 subscribers away from the goal of 1,000. I mean, I appreciate every single one of you guys. And as usual, we'll catch you guys next time.